Hello, lovies, and hello to the one and the only, actually, attorney Nan Gallagher, aka the only Nan. How are you?
Oh, hi, Lovey. I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, it's so good. What a busy day we had, right? Between like life, work, and Karen Read hearing, and then subsequent ruling from Judge Beverly Cannoni.
Oh my God, the amount of updates that have been coming in today, it's like unbelievable. And all I kept thinking all day was, I hope I can store all of this in my brain and then regurgitate it out to you, Kim, and to your audience here, all of your lovely lovies. So everybody, please give me some grace. And if you need to follow any creators for the real granular aspects of what went down, please feel free to do so. But I am so excited to be here. Kim is one of my favorite creators, and I'm sure you all agree. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. Like literally, Nan, the pleasure is all mine, all on this side. I said, I'm going to shoot my shot and send a DM. And I slid into that DM. And when you responded, I clutched those pearls, babe.
I told my husband, I was like, Nurse Kim kind of said, I'm going to take my shot. And he almost fell on the floor laughing because I'm not an important person and I'm still not. And I never will be. I'm just an opinionated person from the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area. So when you wrote that to me, I was so taken aback. And I really just feel like I'm one of you. I'm one of all of your audience. Yeah, maybe I have a JD after my name or an ESQ, but I see things like all of you do. Maybe I have a little bit to add to it. So thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. Like again, fangirling, and I'm going to only nanning. Okay. Right now. But it's so important, I believe, Nan, for us to have more not only women in the space, but attorneys that are willing to just tell us and break things down for and your ability to do so and to connect with people and to break it down is something that is rare. Mr. Betterow, my friend Mark Betterow, does a wonderful job for us too. Attorney Melanie Little is an angel face and we love her. Yes. But it has been such an incredible addition for me to hear your candor. I'm like, you are one of my best friends from out of town. And I was like, oh, if she says I'm willing to come on, I was going to be thrilled to no end. So this is like a dream come true.
Thank you. And I do plan, I said this on another stream, but I actually do plan on coming up to see at least one day of the trial. And when I say see one day of it, I mean maybe peek at the jury and pop out and then stand with the boots on the ground. And I'd love to meet you and anyone else who's in the area just to kind of show my appreciation, because the boots on the ground, in addition to the content creators, have really kept me hooked and inspired to follow this, because there are more people than just Karen Read and her family and all of you and Lady Justice who really care about this stuff. So I hope to get up there in April, and hopefully it's warmer in April than it is now, because this is ridiculous. Yes. But I would love to meet you in person, Kim.
Oh my gosh. Babe, we'll be having a Starbucks, a little Dunkin' Donuts, whatever you like. I'm a tea girl, but I will go anywhere you want to go, and we will, it would be my honor.
By the way, while you're talking about beverages, I should point out I have my I Need a Hug shirt on, but it actually says I need a huge margarita.
Oh,
so if anybody would like to join me for a margarita up in the Canton area, and I'd love to see 34 Fairview, by the way, but I'm buying. Let's get some margaritas, ladies.
I need a hug and a huge margarita when you are with us. And that is fantastic. I will be there. I will never turn that down. And you just come shotgun with me. I'll drive you around. So like we'll make a day of it.
That's great. I certainly won't ask several police officers from the Canton PD to drive me around because they may have
No.
a propensity to approach those blood alcohol limits.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
opinion. That's my opinion.
I agree with that opinion. And also let's make sure that we all know where our weapons are as well, which sometimes they, are unable to find those after a night of drinking as well.
Yeah, just
But
leave it in a mailbox.
just bop it in a mailbox and don't make it weird,
And then
okay?
text me about it later, Kim. Did I lose
Yeah.
my state issued or town issued weapon? And you let me know and I'll come pick it up.
Yeah, that's not even a phone call, that's a text, babe, like, no biggie, it's just another day in the life. Um,
Ladies and gentlemen out in the audience, you're going to hear a little snark and sarcasm tonight because this is one of the reasons I gravitate towards Nurse Kim. She, out of all of the creators, she's got my personality. I need her voice and her delivery a little bit better, but we are one in the same.
okay, I feel like we're manifesting right now because I have felt that way about you when I saw you on other platforms with the boys. I was like, "Oh, she gets I was like, "She's us. She is everything." And I also hate my voice, so I would do a tradesies with you all day long. We could do a
Kim,
little switcheroo.
I'm known to do impersonations of people, which is actually one of the reasons I like Will the Glare so much, and Turtle Boy. But when I get to know you a little bit better, I'm gonna start an homage to you with a little impersonation next time I come on, and it's only coming from a position of love. But you've got the voice, and I want it.
Oh, okay. Challenge accepted, Nan. So we will do that behind the scenes, keep talking to each other. And the next time you're on, I demand a Nurse Kim impersonation and potentially a small roast if possible.
Absolutely. However you want your roast cooked. Well done, medium well, you name it, it's yours. It's coming.
However Nan makes it, I'm showing up. So I'll take a roast any way you deliver it.
Thank you.
Um, So, Nan, just for any of our lovies who were unable to catch you on the show with Mike Crawford from the Young Jerks, who we love, and with Brian from LTL Media, who we also love, can you give me a little bit of your career history and what your specialty is, which I know, but just for our friends?
Absolutely. Everyone probably with all that's getting put out there on the cesspool of Twitter right now, you probably all know me better than I know myself. But thank you for asking. I'm Nan Gallagher. I'm an attorney from New Jersey and New York. I'm licensed in Jersey, New York, DC, and the Third Circuit. I've been practicing since 2001. I specialize in what is called healthcare law, which basically means that I represent healthcare professionals, physicians, nurses, PAs, chiropractors, dentists, etc. But I do everything for them. So whether it's civil law, administrative proceedings on their licenses, etc.,
Yeah.
or dealing with like the DEA, I handle criminal defense of these healthcare professionals, which I know you know, Kim, not from personal experience, but I know you know from being in the field that there can be criminal ramifications for what a lot of doctors, etc., do, because there's
Yeah.
always like a piece to that. Like, for example, a fraudulent billing, something like that. I own a law firm and with offices in Morristown, New Jersey, and New York City. And I manage a team. It's a boutique firm where we really just specialize in a certain category of clientele.
Yeah.
And I got to become a lawyer because my mom insisted that I made a federal case out of everything, which I do. And I continue to make the Karen Read prosecution or persecution of federal case for myself. I'm always talking about it in my house. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm a mom of 2 children, 11 and 9, who color a lot of my opinions on things. I use them as a sounding board because kids tend to get it. at a really early age.
Yes.
I've said this before, so my little joke is losing steam. But if you ask my family like what I like, they'll say mommy likes murder, because I'm a big true crime fan, and that's kind of how I stumbled into the Karen Read case, among other high profile pop culture type of cases. And that's how I came to be.
I love that. And I too am a true crime aficionado, if you will. I
Yes.
like to fall asleep to the rhythmic sounds of Lester Holt and just like put me into a slumber, babe. And Mr. Nurse Kim has said for about 20 years, well, we've been together for 19, so 19 years. He has said, this is concerning. Okay. The fact that you are going to bed listening to, and they were chopped up into 19 pieces. And I'm like, I'm like, snug as a bug in a rug. But that has always been, and I think maybe as women, right? And as mothers and as the field that we have chosen, I am always aware, right, of situations. And I'm like acutely and hyper aware of certain things. And when when there's danger or I have anxiety with things, I feel like it is helpful to be aware of cases and aware of outcomes in the legal system, and to just always keep your eyes open, babes, for all of us out there, every lovey that is out there. Just if you don't like true crime and you have just kind of come to this case in a very organic way because of where you live or hearing about it, that makes sense to me 110%. But if you're like me and Nan and you love or are interested in true crime and criminal cases for the overall arch of them and what it means, I mean, there's nothing better in my book.
What you have just recited is pretty much the story of my family life. And I was telling my husband about a month ago, I said, I fell asleep. He knows I listen to true crime at night, but I fell asleep with AirPods in, and I was listening to a streaming of Dateline. Like Dateline has a consistent 24-hour stream on YouTube. And in the middle of the night, I had fallen asleep. I woke up to like murderous screams pounding through my ears, and I was like, oh my God, this is magic. So while I don't mean to make light of crimes like that, it's just these mysteries tend to draw me in. And Dateline, unlike what we have here with Karen Read's case, Dateline kind of tidies and neatly packages up things, and suddenly at the end there's justice, or maybe there's no answer to the mystery, but that's rare. In this case, and sorry to segue, Kim, in this case, it's just like we don't have that natural human satisfaction of getting answers and justice, and why is this happening? And that is one of the reasons I consider her case such an enigma to someone like myself who does have some, well, I guess more than some legal training. And I know what the case law says. I know how to make arguments, how to decipher them and to break them down. And I'm sitting here just banging my head against a wall. And I'm sure all of you are too. Karen
Yes.
and her family are so lucky to have such local support and to see it grow beyond Massachusetts and into the United States and across the oceans is so heartwarming for me. And that's one of the reasons I'm here.
I love that. And I love you, Nan. Okay. I'm going to do something a little different tonight, guys. I'm going to try to read your questions or the super chats as we go, because I don't know how long Nan does have, and I don't want to miss anything. So
let's keep them guessing. I wonder, you all have to get your questions in because no one knows how long I'm going to be here.
yes, she may just sign off. She might just log herself out of this StreamYard and say, boot me and block Nurse Kim. So let's strike while the iron's hot. Jen Altman's in the chat. That's fun. We've got Jen, and she says, love my Kimmy, and so excited for Nan being a part of our amazing movement. Jen Altman, you are an OG, and we love and appreciate you. Jen is also a respiratory therapist, so we have so many nurses, healthcare professionals from A to Zip that I am so blessed to have and hang out with me. And they've followed this every single step of the way, Nan, and it is just it has been a wild ride thus far. Caroline Stella comes in hot. Thank you so much. Lovey says, I'm thinking about coming up from Florida to the trial. Awesome. Can I have Margs with you and Nurse Kim? Caroline.
Absolutely.
You're in, babe.
Although I really want to go to Florida right now because it's cold here. But yeah, everybody, come on up. We'll make margaritas. I'll pour them right outside the courthouse steps.
Oh, oh, and Caroline Stella, again, thank you so much. Says women in law. Heck yeah, absolutely. And Jen Lee, 143. It's Jen Lee. I'm so sorry, babe. I still got this mic. I know you don't like it, and I've got to get one of those branches for me to not hit a button. Yes, I need a branch.
You know what you should, we will talk, but there's something called a creator tree. I made my husband, who's a stay-at-home dad, go out and get me one. So it's like a all-in-one package, but we'll talk. Have your people call my people.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Nurse Kim and Mr. Nan. Yes, we've got it. And that is, did you watch the first trial, Nan?
Yes, I did. And that is probably worth mentioning that's a lot of the criticism I get from trolls on Twitter. How is she only following creators? She needed to have seen the first trial. Oh, I saw the first trial. Mm-hmm. And not only did I see it, I saw it uncommented on and commented on, and everything aligned in terms of what I was seeing without commentary and what I saw with commentary, all resulting in a complete injustice for Karen Read. But I enjoyed watching it. It's just horrible that this is happening to her, and now 2 times in a row.
Yeah, and I did mention, I think, I don't know, one of my streams recently that, Karen, this was worst case scenario, Nan, was that, at the end of the day, she was prepared for a guilty verdict. She was prepared for a non-guilty verdict. But the hung jury and having to do Commonwealth V Karen Read 2.0 was not in her brain at all, and I know that she's fighting so hard, and I just can imagine the strain and the overall just energy and faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in, and I do know that she does believe in God, but her faith in her family and everything needed to align and to rally around her, and the community that has formed and become what this is truly unimaginable, I think, in my opinion.
I agree. Kim, let me just tell you a quick side story. As an attorney, I had a trial about 15 years ago, and it was a criminal trial, and my client had a mistrial, and he was prepared for guilty or not guilty. He wasn't prepared for mistrial, no matter how many times I said it could happen. You never know. And I explained what a mistrial is. But when you're in that moment, and I really do like to point this out because I think a lot has gotten commented upon by the other side of the movement concerning the fact that Alan Jackson and David Yannetti didn't speak up when the mistrial was about to be called after there was the Rodriguez, the charge. I forget what the case up there, but when they were going back and forth and it was looking like it was trending towards a mistrial, a lot of people who do not believe in Karen's innocence were kind of saying things like, the lawyers should have spoken up if they wanted to have another say or hear more from the jury. And now this whole issue is before the SJC up in Massachusetts. But when I represented my client, he was prepared either way for guilty, not guilty. When a mistrial happened, he looked me in the face. he cried, and I'll never forget, I had to hug him in the hallway of the courthouse, and he burst into tears and he said, "I feel like I just ran a marathon and I broke my ankle with 10 feet to go." And I'll never forget that, because he just needed closure. He wasn't even worried about the financial strain of a retrial, because there was going to be one, and there was. And by the way, he was found not guilty, and I'm really happy about that. Doctor, I know you're watching. I know I asked you to watch tonight, and I'm really proud of what has happened to you since then. But he had felt like he broke his ankle with like 10 feet to go. And I feel like that's probably a little bit about how Karen might be feeling. You have to kind of dig deep into that well and say, do I have the wherewithal, finances aside, to go through this again? And now we're seeing in these motions and developments that it is just another fight each new day. So keep running that marathon, Karen. I hope you're watching, or Kelly is watching.
Yes.
I'm sending you support.
Yeah, we definitely all are. And I think that that's so great. Here we have a marathon, our Boston Marathon. There's Heartbreak Hill, and it's like famous. And that's profound that you made that like correlation of what your client had said to you. And I think that Karen has, unfortunately, she's made it, right? She made it past Heartbreak Hill. And I have always said that it everything had to line up. And I think this is bigger than Karen. I think that this has always been to unveil what is happening in Norfolk County, things that have gone on for decades, in my opinion, and that she was the one to stop this for girls and women and humans moving forward.
Yes.
That this needed to be an overhaul and a change in how business as usual has been conducted. And of course, this is an extraordinary case, but I'm saying, as there's been so much that has been swept under the rug and just not addressed, and corruption, in my opinion, for a long time.
Yeah, the tone of Twitter or X today from the people whom I follow was, how can this happen? How is this just? And it's so hard, and it's not my responsibility to pep these people up, but I'm a caregiver. I like to think of myself like a nurse as well. I like to care for people's hearts and their spirits. And it's hard to give them hope when they see, in my opinion, some really unjust, even interim rulings coming out of court. And I don't mean any specific criticism of the judge in this case, at least publicly, but it's just like one battle after another. And thanks for bringing up that Heartbreak Hill analogy. I didn't even remember that. That's great. Like that could be good theming, as in my opinion, as we're coming up to 2.0. I want to think more about that. Maybe I could suggest something to the creators who kind of make all this or order all this merch.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Absolutely.
It's your idea. I'm going to take all the credit for it.
Well, listen, I'm just a mom, just a Kim. I'm just a weirdo on the World Wide Web, Nan. I'm here and thankful that anybody shows up. Jenna Hagg's show is my Jenna in real life, IRL, and says, Kim, we will have to have another event with Nan. Oh, I did it in person.
But yeah,
I did a meet and like, I don't know what I was doing. I had like a house party and I like catered it, and I had the best time with 30 of our friends from online, from TikTok and from YouTube in September. At the end of September, it was really fun. But yes, Jenna, we can absolutely work on that.
Oh, that'd be awesome, Jenna.
Yeah, we had like champagne. It was so cute. I got really good Italian food from Wilmington, and it was, listen, there was stuff. I got stuffed mushrooms. I took care of it. You know what I'm saying? I said,
I'm married to an Italian. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Kim. I'm married to an Italian. Gallagher is my maiden name, and I'm all over the Italian food, and that is why I talk with my hands. So I'm all Italian by marriage.
Love it. And you've got Italian babies, so I know, absolutely. And then AKA the cat lady says, if Bev denies the motion to dismiss for extraordinary government misconduct, can that be appealed, Nan?
So it ultimately, my understanding, and I have to always I'll preface it once for the rest of the answers I give if questions
Yeah.
like this come in, because I am not licensed up in Massachusetts. So there may be particular differences in that jurisdiction than when I practice.
Right.
But no, it would become a subsequent appeal if she were tried and convicted. Then she could appeal underlying rulings. But that extraordinary governmental misconduct motion and this motion to dismiss all of it, it's really, there is teeth to these concepts. This isn't pardon a stick on the Italian theme, but this is not throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
Yes.
And Kim, if I can interrupt myself and the cat lady,
Yeah.
for a moment, because I wanted your viewers to have an understanding that. So Alan Jackson was arguing today this motion for cost, and I'm seeing it in your chat, and I've seen it on X that there's a little bit of a push to try to earn roughly $12,000 to compensate or help take the burden off of Karen for having to pay for that wasted trip of her experts. So whatever I can do to help support that cause, I will. I'm sure it's just forming now, but count me in on that. But when Alan Jackson argued that motion today,
Yeah.
part of what he was arguing was about the wasted trip. I mean, he argued it beautifully. And if anybody, I saw Melanie this morning she was grabbing like little clips of some of the stuff AJ was saying, like, really? And there was a quote from Hank Brennan where he said something like an uncorrected lie is a lie, and I'm paraphrasing, but great sound bites came out of that. But when Alan argued that motion, he did something very strategically beautiful, in my opinion, which was to put into it, he baked into his argument a little amuse-bouche about the motion to dismiss on Brady violations, the failure to disclose Brady evidence. So yes, Hank Brennan, the most literal, boring, nerdy person I've ever seen on television, of course. And to be clear, I mean, I don't watch him on television. I guess I watch him on my phone when I'm sitting around in court or something. But, he was like, this isn't even part of the motion, Your Honor. I'm not going to even justify that and submit anything. Sure, he's right, theoretically. But what Alan was doing was saying, here you go. Here's your little appetizer, the world. And, maybe Judge Canoni will deny the motion to dismiss. She hasn't shown it a lot of interest. She just wants that thing filed, whether it's cut up like something out of a horror movie or put all together and filed immediately. But even if she's going to deny it, and it's too early to forecast that because it hasn't been filed yet.
Yeah.
He wants the world to see it. It's all about force multiplication. And that's why you and your audience and all the content creators, boots on the ground, you guys are so pivotal. And I want to help you however I can.
Oh, Nan, you're the best.
Thank you.
And Romy, Lover Romy with Cheese, gifted 10 Nurse Kim non-consensual memberships. And you know how it goes, guys. Just poke around back there, and it's a wild time. You may not like it, but if you do, we thank Romy.
I got one of those non-consensual memberships yesterday, so I'm very excited.
She's the best. She's my mod, and she's my friend IRL too. I don't know why she actually watches me on this. Anybody who knows me in real life, do not watch me anywhere. It is a little frightening for all of us. Larry Legend, my guy, he says, only Nan, would it be incorrect to think Lally is sitting there getting dumped on because he prosecuted the first case and voided an ethical excuse like every other Norfolk County ADA?
So Larry, oh my God, is that Larry Legend? I don't even know how to say your handle, but I have seen you.
We call him La. That's what I call it.
Right.
I go, La, how are we? Yep.
I've seen you kind of post something about that before. I think you may be onto something. Hear me out. I have my own theory, and I don't care if I'm proven right or wrong. And it kind of it tracks with this. I have a feeling. So we all heard through the appointment of Brennan as special prosecutor, and we all heard through the Vanity Fair article that nobody in the prosecutor's office wanted to take on this case, etc. We know Lally got a mistrial, which in law is a loss. Okay, I don't care how anyone spins it. If you're a prosecutor and your case results in a mistrial, I'm not saying other mistrials the prosecutor did something wrong. It doesn't mean that, but it is a loss. It goes in the L column of his, internal record. And I have a feeling that the appointment of Brennan as special prosecutor and the keeping of Lally, who's basically just sitting at the table with his head down, breaking pencils or eating cheese sandwiches or whatever he's doing up there, looking sharp, Lally, looking real sharp. But I have a feeling that he's just sitting there to be an ultimate scapegoat. Yo, there he is. There he is. Yeah. Oh, pencil. I love Kim. I've been looking at your beautiful face. I didn't even notice your background there. That's amazing. I need to talk with you about fake backgrounds because I saw the one with Chloe like driving, was it the snowplow or truck? Like it's amazing.
She drives a truck. She goes down to the Cape. She's in a little red polka dot bikini sometimes. She has opposable thumbs. She texts her girlfriends and says, "I'm still alive." And it is I love backgrounds, virtual backgrounds. But Nan, I just wanted to say to you that I was from day one, from jump, when you were on with Mike Crawford, I said, look at this beautiful woman in her teal office. That's a woman I can get behind.
This is, by the way, thank you so much. This is, I put it up on X. It's Pacific Palisades, Benjamin Moore. And at my law firm, my whole law firm, is a different one. It's some Athens blue. That's a slightly different blue, but imagine walking into a law firm and you picture, white walls or beige walls. My whole law firm is painted blue. It's pretty amazing. Thank you. But hey, I think Lally, he's going to get dumped on at some point, whether intentionally by the prosecutor's office or Brennan, or just inadvertently. So it's going to be, oops, I didn't know about that, or I assume Lally did this. It's going to happen. There is something there.
Yeah, and Morrissey has done, the Mr. Meatball himself has alluded to blame for Lally since pre-trial of trial 1.0. So, anytime anything goes wrong, even when Michael Morrissey did his hostage video, as we like to refer to it, where he got up and really blatantly made this small video, didn't want to take any press questions or anything, just put it out, where he said, Michael Proctor has no relationship to anybody in this case. The witnesses have nothing to do with anything. And, Colin wasn't in the house. There's a lot there. And it's been unprecedented since long ago, since 2023 that I can recall. And when Turtle Boy broke it in April of 2023, the steam just kept going and going. And Lal, look at Lal, though. If you look at him, he wasn't a mover and a shaker, right? And that Brennan has a different approach. He came in hot today. I didn't like how he addressed Queen Marie Russell. I don't like how he comes off. To me, his performative nature and him trying to do like checking off boxes, Nan, with like, oh, you hit me, so I'm hitting you back. Like it feels off because he's not a prosecutor. He's cosplaying as a prosecutor. He is a defense attorney. He represented, from Massachusetts history, Whitey Bulger, one of the biggest cases that ever was prosecuted for Winter Hill Gang and the crimes that were committed against families. He is still a firm representative. He still has outstanding litigation and civil suits for the estate of Whitey frickin' Bulger. So at the end of the day, I'm good, okay? And I don't trust a man that says Whitey Bulger isn't a rat. I'm sorry. And he still doubles and triples down on it.
And I will say this, by the way, someone posted in your chat, they don't think Brennan and Lally talk. And I think that's true. I think it's apparent to me there's not much meaningful conversation between the two of them.
Yeah.
There's disconnects that I see with a critical legal eye when I'm like, he would have known that had he talked to Lally. But you raised some key points there, Kim. Juries will pick up on that. So while juries aren't going to hear the argument of motions and I gave the defense everything because I don't want to hold anything back, I'm being very transparent. They're not going to see any of that. But his demeanor is extremely abrasive to me. And I understand I'm biased, but once juries become biased, they just naturally do. As the trials go on, you start to trend like, I'm not buying this, or I don't think so, or I really like this person. And I don't think he's going to be beloved. I'm waiting to see that. That's why, I really loved when content creators who got into the courtroom or who spoke with people who did would report back, oh, this person seems interested. That person's writing a lot of notes. This person's a hard read, so to speak. I think Brennan is looking uphill if he wants to get ingratiated with a jury. It's not tracking well for me. So
yeah, I 110% agree. And listen, I clearly have a bias too, but it's after, going through even trial one, right? So I always try to look at things as objectively as possible. And I know a lot, and we know too much because we know everything about everything. And a jury would learn all those things. But how somebody presents to you, and if you trust them, if this person seems like, or if you're seeing an attorney who is really attacking an expert witness, that feels yucky, Nan. And I don't give a shit who it is.
Let me tell you, because and I don't mean any offense to witnesses when I say this. Someone like Marie Russell, who I've said on another stream is like the most uniquely qualified expert I've ever encountered, okay, for all of her background in this particular area that she's going to be permitted to testify about. Yes. But even Richard Green, he strikes me as someone who's, feeling his seasons, as we say here in New Jersey, New York. Marie is feeling her seasons a little bit too. I can't think of his name, but the medical doctor who offered opinions, can't think of his name, folks, but the doctor for the defense, these are...
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, I'm blanking right this second. Oh, chat, help me out.
I don't feel like digging through my Karen Read, thick notebook for it, but his name is in there. He's an older, more mature medical doctor who gave opinions for the defense, and I thought he was quite effective.
Dr. Sheridan. Frank.
There you go. And thank you. I see that. Yeah, someone put, thank you. Letter Rose by Bettero. Love it. I'm seeing other people say it too. But I want to mention if an attorney who's crossing a more mature witness who is an expert and has been deemed an expert by the court,
yes,
if he comes in too hot or disrespectful, it's not even coming in hot. If you're going to be throwing something on the stand for them to look at, or you give them something and you walk away and you turn your back to them, these little nuances, this body language, it can be ill perceived by juries. I'm not an expert, but I have done a lot of personal research on this, on what are the best ways to gravitate towards juries, to genuinely get them to have a rapport with you.
Yeah.
And he's gonna fail. He's gonna fail more than even Lally did, because Lally was, he's just a sorry sog. I'd be interested to see if Lally asks a single question or says a single thing during trial 2.0 other than, "Good morning, Your Honor, Adam Lally for the prosecution." "Good morning, Mr. Lally." That's going to be it. And he's going to sit down and, play solitaire on his phone the whole time.
Yeah, and poor Miss McLaughlin too, because she, like, our third chair now, like, I don't know, because Lally didn't utilize McLaughlin. Now Hank is not. It doesn't appear to be utilizing Lally or McLaughlin. And at the end of the day, I think McLaughlin could have done probably a better job than both of them combined. But neither here nor there. What I will say is that is interesting, and I wonder about that. Really do wonder if I could be a fly on a wall and hear any kind of like interpersonal discussion between Hank and Adam Lally. That would be epic, because you can definitely tell that, or what I perceive as that Hank has come in. He is the hot shot. He is the special prosecutor. He was the chosen one. And that Adam Lally is beta mailing, like that he was kind of put in the pack, that you are lower, and even lower, unfortunately, is Miss McLaughlin. So I don't think there's like any love lost there. And I actually would say that probably Lally has a feisty side that none of us see, right? And that he's like, absolutely go F yourself, Hank. And that he would say, I'm not reminding you, because I didn't even think that Hank had done his summer reading. And I didn't even think that Hank, and I still sometimes now when he gets up and argues, I'm like, are you shitting me? How do I know this? And you don't know.
You're a smart lady.
Well, thank you. But I think everybody who has seen and watched, like, and I understand that it was a lot and it was overwhelming for many, for a long time. It was 9 weeks. It was a whole shit show. But at the end of the day, he needs to be acutely aware of everything, all of that testimony, every filing. And he seems like everything is sometimes going over his head, in my opinion.
I agree. By the way, if there's a glare raid going on, I just want to
is
hi to all of them. And if Will has popped on, it's great to see you. I'm having a hard time finding your streams with you suspended from X or kicked off permanently. I'm suffering. I got to find a better way. Anyone wants to do me a solid moving forward and let me know on X when Will is streaming, that would be great. But also, Kim, I do think that I think that Team Karen Read, the new dream team, which dwarfs what O.J. Simpson had back in the day, but the dream team for Karen, they're going to have stories to tell when all of this is said and done. Yeah. And there's a question among hundreds to be asked of them. I'd love to hear what their observations were of Lally after the mistrial, once Brennan was put in. Were they communicating? Are they on all emails? Does Brennan say things like, I'm gonna have to check with Adam? Who knows? I'm very interested in that from a psychological standpoint.
Me too.
Yeah. It's good. It's good, interesting fodder for me to sink my teeth into.
Yeah, just human nature. Like, you just want to know, right? Because the team that's been with Karen for so long has been Karen's team, and of course we've picked up a couple along the way with the incredible Robert Alessi, and also with our DuckTales. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now, but who argued our SJC?
Weinberg. Weinberg.
Marty Weinberg. Yes, absolutely. He is so cute. And every time I see him, he's got that little ducktail, babe. I go, I can't. He's so adorable. I'm like, does his wife comb it for him? I
I
can't.
know. He's so endeared. I had never heard of him, which I probably should have, but even Judge Canoni treated him with such a level of visible respect and deference.
Listen to me. When Judge Beverly Canoni whipped off those glasses and was listening intently to him argue, I said, what are we doing right now? I've never seen her greet anybody. Her tone changed. Her eyes, the heart eyes, I blacked out. I go, oh my God. I go, what? But she has probably admiration for him because he's practiced since the day, you know what I mean? She looked up to him. He probably had 10, 15 years under his belt by the time she had arrived 30 years ago. So, he's a revered and highly respected attorney, and we appreciate him.
Yeah.
Jen Lee says, thank you so much, Lovey. That's so kind. Says, not a troll. I'm just trying to get to know Nan. I know the creators love it, but she came in hot and overboard on her super chats, made this peon feel insignificant. But so far, she may be worth the hype. Yes, she is. Your mic is fine. Thank you, Genly143. And if you're happy, I'm happy, or I can find my happy. Oh, Lovey, you are always welcome. And I think that we thank Nan for the kindness and the support that she has shown all of the creators. That has been so unlike imaginable that you would never expect anything of that nature. And she doesn't have to, and for her to do that for us I know it means a lot to me and to everybody else. And you're not a peon either, Genly143. You are an incredible person who we appreciate. Just even any part of you being here and showing up. Keep showing up, right? That's what it is, Nan. Keep showing up, and you do that all the time. I don't expect anything from anyone at any time.
Oh my gosh,
Personally.
can I just say something to Jen Lee? By the way, I have a friend with the same name. And I want you and others to know, and first of all, I love your candor. Thank you for that message. And I do not mean, or did not mean, to come in hot, although in retrospect, I probably did. And this is all of your pool, and I went in and did a big cannonball in it, and got splashed a bunch of people, and I'm real sorry about that. I just want to show that appreciation and to try to acutely inspire some of the content creators, because I can see it now that have dealt personally with them, that it's a hard job. It's hard, from what I can tell. I'm not speaking for all of them, but to create content, to find the time to stream and to handle all of the chats and to give you some new and exciting information. And I really just wanted to, on a personal note, give them some inspiration. But I could see how it might be perceived that way. I'm the most transparent, genuine person. Like, when I say genuine, I don't even mean that as a compliment. I mean, like, what you see is what you get with me. And yes. I have a personal life and a profession that allows me to make choices about things that I do with donations or charitable givings. And by no means do I want to offend anyone by doing that. So keep showing up, Jen. Just keep showing up, even if someone yanks me off of a stage with the big umbrella hook. Just keep showing up. I really mean that. And thanks for your message.
And and I didn't read that right either. Like, I could have maybe I'm pretty sure, because I know Genly143, she's in my chat often. It was probably more like sarcastic, but it's so cool to know that, Nan. Do you know what I mean? And you don't have to explain yourself to anybody or what you do, but for you to take your time and just say, hey, listen, I just wanted to give everybody like, hey, keep going, keep going. And a little bit of, just for me, it's been, uh, very appreciated because we don't, I mean, I work two jobs. I work my regular job, my Monday through Friday, and then I do visits every other weekend, home visits.
Oh,
So, and of course, and I love this. So this is always fun for me. And, and my girls are old, I have a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old. So like, other than me being a chauffeur and an ATM, like they have friends and they have sporting events. And so for like mom to find a minute in the last year to like, maybe see something that I enjoy doing. Like this has been the first time since 2010, and nobody's going to shit on me for, like wanting to do a little something that I think is that I'm going to be talking about it anyway. So I might as well talk to my friends online.
Jen, I want Jen to hear this, and Kim, I want you to hear this too. When you have a content creator who's like, I'm going to be talking about this anyway. Kim's like literally has found an outlet. It's like she's going to be talking about this at the convenience store up the street, or at
Yes, babe.
school, or at the school dance if she's chaperoning. Which, by the way, you have three jobs, Kim, because you're a mom and a
Yes.
chauffeur as well. We should chat about your jobs. I really have an interest in that. I have a lot of nurses
Oh,
whom I represent. I'd love to hear more about that offline.
sure.
But honestly, though, like, you're so good at this. It's really it's I just gravitate towards it. I love listening to you, and I love the different creators for the different reasons. Like I could go on and on. So I'm sorry, and I'm not paying my way onto shows. And
No.
the latest theory, though, that's out
Oh.
there by the trolls, Kim, is that I make a donation to you, and by surprise, which I love. And you said, I'm going to get this back to you next month or something, which, how dare you? Do not send donations back. But the trolls now think that I have created a plan to pay money to creators for them to give part of it back to me. To just that's how I'm getting my YouTube debut, and I want to become this celebrity. I just want to help this woman and to kind of promote justice for
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
So
And that's my fault too, because I say things that probably like I shouldn't. But if I get embarrassed if people are
yeah.
kind, or I get embarrassed if there is like large, I get weird and in my own feelings. So I'm like, please God, if I get like, because we get paid once a month at like the end of next month. And I was like, I'll give it back to you because like I don't feel like worthy to have it. Not that you asked me to do that. It's a worth thing.
Somebody posted in your chat a couple days ago. They're like, just be prepared, only Nan, she's going to cry because you didn't see it. Which, by the way, like, can we all just take a moment and like embrace the fact that Kim doesn't see certain chats, will put her
No.
microphone down and not even realize it's on mute for like 7 minutes.
Minutes.
It's
minutes.
amazing. It's amazing. It makes for great comedy and great content.
Yeah, she's an unintentional lunatic, and we love her for it. I go, listen, if I don't have tech problems and I can't goof at myself, like then whatever. I just we're all doing the best that we can. I try to be good to everybody. I don't see anything ever unless I'm taking the time. But I wanted to make sure that I got like to the people who wanted to talk to you because you are a big deal, and I find legal minds very interesting. I find the legal opinion and the candor of you is a little bit different because most of our people are very like buttoned up, with
Yeah.
it, just like I'm staying within the lines. And I like that you color a little bit. You color a little bit with me, Nan.
I'm like, was it Mulan, or who painted with the colors of the wind? One of the
That was
Disney.
Pocahontas, babe.
Sorry, I
Yes.
mixed up my characters, but yeah, I'm painting with all the colors of the law. I
I love
tend
it.
to I describe to someone, I think it was to Mike Crawford of the Young Jerks when I was first, when he first reached out, and I said, I'm like a blend. I'm a blend between Melanie Little, the Glare, etc. By the way, that's like the worst analogy. I call balls and strikes. I have
Yes.
opinions, which reminds me, one of your viewers encouraged me to create a Facebook page,
Oh,
which is not, I'm not trying to strum up promotion for it, but
yeah.
I was getting like hundreds. I'm completely surprised by this. Like hundreds of people were trying to friend me on my personal Facebook.
Yeah.
And I don't think people want to see that I'm at my son's baseball game and,
Yeah. And
so
for your privacy too. Like, yeah,
yeah.
don't do that.
So
So
I created a page today. If anybody has any interest, I have to find a way to reconnect with like the justice pages and all the creators. But I started it, and that's,
love it.
you guys may see some snark from me on it.
Hey,
So
that's my favorite. So I will be there and I will friend. So Gringa says the butt dialing testimony alone gave me reasonable doubt. What a farce. You are correct. And Britt Happens. Hi, Lovey. I know you're going on Britt Happens on
Sunday.
Sunday. Is that correct?
Yes. She was kind enough to give me 11 o'clock because I have a basketball game to go to
Oh,
for my son before the Super Bowl.
yes. Oh my gosh. Well, that will be an amazing show. And is it Andrew? Oh
Andrew
gosh.
Myers.
Andrew Myers. Him and Nan are going to be on Britt Happens on her channel on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, 11 a.m. That'll be our pregame.
Yeah.
Love you, Britt.
Thank you so much, Britt.
And Carrie Ann says, my main focus on this case has been how badly the police failed Officer John O'Keefe, corruption, incompetence, or both. Nan, have you ever seen an investigation this bad?
No. I've seen bad investigations, and not to bore your audience, I do have some police case background. I've handled one big one many moons ago, where some children died in Camden, New Jersey. But I've handled a few police defense cases, and this is the worst I've seen in terms of missteps or missing evidence, intentional obfuscation of evidence, the gaslighting. Like, here's an example which isn't necessarily related to the police. You've got someone like Brennan saying today, the defense has had 3 years to ask for this information, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Like, how are they supposed to know specifically what they are going to ask for? So this is colossal gamesmanship and intentional. I mean, it's malfeasance as I see it. It's another reason I feel very strongly about speaking out. Maybe someone who, in addition to other lawyers who have, adding another lawyer to the mix just might add a little bit more believability to this. I don't hear other lawyers coming out on the other side. That should be a huge signal to the public.
Agreed. There is a man named Jafar. His name is Michael Jafar, but I call him Jafar because he's an asshole.
Yep.
And he got on Court TV and said that he hated Karen Read, which I thought was so inappropriate. Like, listen, babe, you can say whatever you want, legal argument wise. And of course he can say he hates her, but like, it feels like you don't know. So I don't hate anybody that I don't know. Okay. And that's not a way to try to live your life. And I understand that even worst case scenario, if you were to try to say that Karen by accident, right? Like if this was supposedly that 9 jurors were working on a lesser included of a manslaughter charge, I'm going to need you to fuck directly off. Okay. Because there is no, what part of my French? I'm so sorry, Nan. I'm trying
I
to
curse
be
like a sailor, good. Kim.
Oh, I love
wait,
it.
Wait, let me interrupt you. Can you please,
Yes.
can you show me that move where you're like, let me get something out for you, and then flipped it? Can you
we're going to give it to Jafar.
Yes, yeah.
So you do this. You go, oh, I have something in my pocket for you. And you say, oh, I just got to find it. And it's right here.
All right. I love
Okay.
it. I love
And
it.
then that's for you, Mr. Jaffer, aka Jafar. And stop being a villain and like maybe just be a good human and like you can say your opinion. I just felt like, I don't know, we think of our code of conduct, of professional conduct. He's a freaking actual attorney in Michigan, wherever, Minnesota, I don't know exactly where. But like, you know, I know you wanted to be a little shock and shock and horror, if you will,
Yeah.
but it seemed kind of forced to me, and I thought he was a phony fake. And I'm like, oh, so you're trying to get a sound bite? That's a little dumb.
Yeah, I like people like him. I know there's him. I know there's Krowski, Joseph Krowski, or but there is a
Yeah.
very small list.
But
And
Krowski's from home. He's like a good, like, listen, okay, say what you will about Krowski, but he's from home. His dad is from home. His dad is representing, we know, Jill Daniels, and it did the
right,
whopping FU to Tommy when
I
he
saw
was
that.
outside the court. Like, but at least he's a hometown. You know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah,
say, and he most of the time he's always respectful. Like him and I can disagree, but Krowski Jr., Joe Krowski Jr., he he's never been like rude. He might say things that are wrong, and I have corrected him, but or provided proof. I'm not correcting him. He's an
right.
attorney. I don't mean it like that, but I provided documentation. Okay, I got the receipts, proof,
Yeah,
timeline, and he never is rude back, but you know he represented Colin. Let's be honest. And he believes what he believes. I'm not trying to
right.
change anybody's mind, Nan.
And by the way, I think I don't mean any offense to Mr. Krowski when I say that. He's from the area and it has a connectedness. Um, but he's in a small I guess what I'm saying is there's just a small amount of lawyers that I've seen come out and have opinions. Um, that is telling to me that so many lawyers, I mean, I was trying my best today to listen to even the Emily Bakers and the Peter Tragoses and the Melanie Littles. But see, Emily Baker, Peter Tragos, who's the lawyer, on YouTube, they try, or at least they tried through the first trial to kind of go into it impartially and reach their conclusions. And I think they realized it was a dumpster fire to steal from Alan Jackson
Yeah.
really, really quickly. By the way, excellent use of dumpster fire during an oral argument in
Are
court
you
today.
shitting me?
I, I,
I can't.
I was like, this is unbelievable. Like dumpster
Yeah.
fire, and she's paying to put it out. Like
Yes.
he's Shakespeare as far as I'm concerned. But the list of lawyers is small on the side of in favor of the Commonwealth here. I think more of us apply the law to the facts, and we all kind of lean towards reasonable doubt. And I've seen, without my reading glasses, I'm seeing people put in your chat here, reasonable doubt. This is what it gave me reasonable doubt. And this newly produced, one of many different newly produced pieces of evidence with Higgy on the phone in the middle of the night, like
Insane.
that's in and of itself lends itself to reasonable doubt, but it's certainly information that would have led to him being cross-examined on the phone call. Who was it? He won't remember, by the way. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember. But it does give the defense an ability to impeach him with a conflict in his testimony. He said he didn't talk to anyone. He told a federal grand jury he didn't talk to anyone on the phone. Just did whatever he did at the PD and then went home and had a Jameson and ginger. Oh man,
He sure did.
You're gonna make me get my old lady specs out, girlfriend. All right.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to bring this up for us. This was the decision, okay, by Judge Cannoni today. And it was after the oral arguments from Alan Jackson. Incredible job. Spicy Hank Brennan in return regarding the $12,000. And I just wanted to reimbursement for Karen. So it says decision and order on defendant's motion to recover expert related expenses from the Commonwealth. And after hearing, after hearing and review of the pleadings, the court credits the affidavit of Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan, paragraph 6. Pardon me. Attorney Jackson expressed concern that the materials may no longer exist on the NVR given the time that had passed since the event. I agreed with him and told him that I had no knowledge of whether the materials still existed or were overridden given the passage of time. In light of the averment of ADA Brennan and in the light of Attorney Jackson's acknowledgement during this hearing that he and ADA Brennan discussed his concerns regarding the likelihood, which was not what was said, but I digress, the likelihood of the video still existing, the motion to recover costs is denied. Further though, Attorney Jackson argued for sanctions for alleged violation of Mass Crim Rule 14. There is nothing in the written pleading raising this argument, and the issue, therefore, not currently before the court. Order the defendant's motion to recover expert-related expenses is hereby denied. Nan, talk me off the ledge.
I have strong feelings about this ruling. Okay. So I'm not surprised that Judge Cannoni entered this order. I disagree. I disagree with her. I think she made the wrong decision here. But I'm not surprised that she entered it this way. But she's hanging her hat on the fact that she's putting up what Brennan is putting down, or picking up what he's putting down. Brennan's saying, AJ even said to me he wasn't even sure that the data existed. And Brennan was like, I don't know if it exists. And Alan Jackson tried to correct that exchange on the record today. That actually doesn't matter. Do you know what, to everybody, what should have happened? What should have happened is when those phone calls were going back and forth leading up to December, whatever, when that expert, Erickson, I think is his name, was supposed to come out from Arizona. First of all, much respect for the defense team for not trusting the Commonwealth to handle anything involving tech. And even if it wasn't because the defense feels like they're going to intentionally screw it up, they've shown nothing but complete and utter technological ineptitude in handling tech. So maybe there would have been a negligent accident that takes place with this data. But in the days leading up to the decision to send out that expert, Spanky should have checked. He's supposed to know. He's not supposed to say, well, I assumed, or I wasn't sure it didn't exist. He's supposed to know. Now, let me be very clear. I've never been a prosecutor. Like, Betterow has prosecution experience. Someone like the lawyer, and Emily D. Baker, they're former prosecutors. So I always defer to them on this type of nuanced stuff. But Brennan, whether he was the original prosecutor or this newly appointed special prosecutor who seems to sometimes invoke, well, I was new to the case and I did my best to review it, type of plausible deniability, this aw shucks approach, or Lally, somebody on that team, when it became clear that the raw data was needed and an inspection of whatever that exacto whatever system is, the Sallyport and videography system there, whatever it's officially called, folks.
The PVR, NVR, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they should have checked. And the not checking and confirming doesn't make it Alan Jackson's fault or Karen Read's financial burden. It is a self-executing duty. I can't believe you're making me look at Spanky right now while I'm saying this. I might vomit while I'm talking, but sorry folks. I say it like I see it. But at the same time, I just wanted you all to know. Oh, now I'm listening.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted him. I'm sorry. I just wanted to pull him up so that he could tell us his BS, but I can't stop it now because I'm a technical genius, and it's apparent that I maybe I was working for the Commonwealth, and I have about the same tech experience as they do. Go ahead, Nan, finish it
No,
up.
I was simply just going to say they should have checked, and
Yeah.
It's a self-executing duty. The prosecution, the Commonwealth, has that burden of making it available and checking that it's there. And it shouldn't have been, well, I told him it might not be there, and he came anyway. So Judge Cannoni picked up what Brennan put down. I disagree with her.
Yeah, I call bullshit.
I want to do what I can to help, if I can, to help raise some funds to try to recompense her for her financial loss on that. That's real frustrating.
And another thing is, Nan, that we also have. So now he said, of course, Hank Brennan, okay, Mr. Pencils, is said that he's ready. He was raring to go, right? And he was ready. Oh, I can absolutely get it done today. Whatever. Well, yeah, our expert is from Arizona, and now Judge Cannoni is also putting kind of a very tight timeline. So now this is going to be, we know the plan, right? We know the play is we're going to be able to get somebody potentially that could be there to record it, but we're still not going to know. Why the frig did no one know that the shit was in the cloud on some retired detective? I don't know, Gallagher. I'm just saying. Not you, Nan Gallagher, Lieutenant Gallagher, who just retired. Did he put it on? Did he throw it into the cloud? And why are you backing shit up? And why did Hank not know this prior to the scheduling? Like, that doesn't make sense. You're all just shitting on the next person, right? It's like, oh, it wasn't my fault. We're playing the blame game. It's annoying, and it's not a courtesy. It's an obligation. So I'm going to need everybody to put their big boy pants on and take accountability when you F up.
Oh, I agree with you. And, Alan said something today like, this is just, we're running around in circles. Okay. We're sitting here looking at this going, what is going on here? But I've heard a few things. I'm just going to pass it along. Your audience may have heard it too. I have heard and haven't had a chance to explore that the type of data that would have been extracted from that system doesn't lend itself to iCloud storage. So the inherent identification by Brennan that this is up in the iCloud somewhere, and I'm really paraphrasing, guys, but that it wouldn't go to an iCloud. It's not that type of data. I don't know if that's true, and I defer to anybody who can speak to that with knowledge. And so let me give you that disclaimer. The other thing I will tell you though is I see little missteps like this. The consistent late production of new evidence. I put up on X today. I'm like, Haas Long after January 29th, 2022. Are we going to get new evidence? This is ridiculous. It doesn't happen like this in the universe that I live in. In terms of legal universe. But anyway, I'm looking at this and I say this to myself. I think these little issues, these little breadcrumbs and puzzle pieces, they're all lending themselves to a reversal, in my opinion, if she were convicted. And I don't think there is any reason for her to be convicted. I think that would be a miscarriage of justice. But I am seeing with a keen eye, as someone who files appeals, enough for me to say, that is enough to, when you pile it all together, to show malicious prosecution, police ineptitude, no chain of custody, clear issues of hiding evidence, destroying evidence, spoliation of evidence. I see enough to say that even if this road ends up not going in her favor, which will devastate me, I think there's enough for her to have a successful appeal. But I'm not willing to concede that yet. So I'm going to throw that idea out of my mind, but to ask you all to just bank it in the back of yours.
Totally. I wanted to just show you this one little baby clip. It's only 17 seconds long, Nan. But this was a moment today during hearing that I said, are you shitting me? Again, out of the 17 times that I clutched my pearls and clenched my butt, we decided that Hank Brennan used the word retooling. Ooh. And he's retooling the Commonwealth's case, right? And I said, well, I'll be dipped, because every anti-KR supporter really just chomped at Karen's heels for saying that, like, depending on what happened with Dr. Russell, they would have to retool, like, their defense, right? Like, if I don't have my extraordinarily qualified expert that I had in trial 1, I'm going to need to figure out game plan for round 2. And they took that and said, look at this lying son of a bitch. Like, they just were
finding
going
another way. Right.
Oh, absolutely. Now let's listen to Hanky say it. All right.
Egregious violation. This is not a Brady case. This is not a setup. This is the government providing information as the case progresses and evolves and changes and retools. So what we have now is information, supposedly, on a database that we are going to get and give to the defense. You should deny their motion. Nobody was misled in this case. Egregious violation. This is not a Brady case. This is not.
Yeah, it is a Brady case. But he says that, as it's all, we heard him just saying that as it evolves and as it changes and as he retools, like, now, not for nothing. Just saying, I don't know. I know that a defense gives, or a defense team has a right to give a vigorous defense to their client, right? And we want to do that and figure out, like, are you going to go third party culprit? Are you going to, like, move back and really just go reasonable doubt? Whatever is the best odds for Karen is what you should do, right? All day. How, if you want to make tweaks, do you, boo? But for the Commonwealth to have the balls to say that was wild to me, because we've already run this game and we've run this plan already through a trial, right? This is now going into retrial, and there shouldn't be new facts. There shouldn't be leaks of video and things that are coming from a friggin' Sallyport all the way through October of 2024. Finding the big neck daddy Higgins on the phone. Okay, what is happening? And does that seem wild to you that Hank is talking about an evolving case from the Commonwealth?
Yeah, it is, and it's completely wild. The case itself, the factual foundation of the prosecution's case against Karen Read, shouldn't be evolving. He should not be discovering things that should have been produced previously. And he takes this approach, and if you all listen closely to what he has said, not just, I don't think might have not said it today, but he said it previously, which is, I'm handing them things whether I think they deserve it or not, whether they're entitled to it or not. I'm, Saint Hank.
It's your job. Yeah.
And he's doing this, but some of what he's sending over and retooling is new exculpatory evidence or inculpatory. I don't know all the evidence, but Brady talks about inculpatory, exculpatory evidence, or evidence that would allow you to impeach witnesses. He's handing new facts over. That never happens. And let me just give your chat and you a little bit of insight here. It's not unheard of for on a retrial for there to be somewhat of a reconstitution of your strategy. Okay. And the facts stay the same. prosecutors may dig a little bit deeper just to try to find not new facts, but just to make sure they're crossing their T's, dotting their I's. That's not unusual. And even to revisit strategy, for example, you know, if there's a mistrial, prosecutors do say, you know, maybe we should focus more on this, not that. But let me give you a couple of recent examples, and one's not so recent, that might help explain what I'm talking about. I don't know if anyone follows the Adelson trials, the murder of Dan Markel, the law professor down in Florida, which, by the way, anyone ever wants to talk about that dumpster fire, I'm here for it. But in that case, there was one of the defendants in a conspiracy who had a mistrial. She was retried. They didn't bring out new facts against her and suddenly discover this appearing new evidence that either inadvertently was never handed over or they didn't know it didn't exist, etc. What they did was she was brought to trial with a reconstituted wire. There was evidence of her talking on a wire. Or, you know, with another co-conspirator. The prosecution sent that wire out to somebody with this sophisticated technology, not the Canton PD, by the way, to actually enhance the tape so they could really hear what these two conspirators were saying in a public restaurant. That didn't become new evidence. That was just fine-tuned, enhanced sound footage that already existed. It was just enhanced. And then she was ultimately convicted with it. And so was the gentleman, among others, that she was talking to on that wire. So there's also another example of the Menendez brothers back in, you might be too young. You're probably too young for this, or it was right when you were a little one.
I've watched all of the documentaries about them, and it's a very interesting case. I just wanted to say really quick, Nick Rocco, thank you so much for giving us an update that someone just donated $3K and we're at $7K out of the goal of $12,000 to just help Karen recoup that money that was denied for her expenses from the Commonwealth and by Judge Beverly Cannoni today. That's incredible. To the person who sent that, you are an angel face, and I know that we can get there, babe. So if you feel inclined, that the pin or the link to the defense fund is just at the top of my chat at all. If you would like to send something to Karen so that she can get, yes, right over where. Yes, there it is.
Hey, by the way, it wasn't me, folks. Let me give you the Shaggy defense. I didn't make that donation. All right. No, but anyway,
I won't here the whole time.
I won't bore you all with the Menendez issue, but there was a mistrial in that, and some evidence got enhanced, or they spent less time on some evidence, and there were some judiciary rulings which limited some evidence. So I just want you all to understand, in these new trials, you don't get new evidence. You just kind of reconstitute your arguments and strategies, maybe enhance existing. Thank you. I'm not going to say your handle, but thank you. You're welcome, and you're welcome, all of you. I could talk about this boring stuff all night, though. So you got to, shut me down.
No, listen, I could listen to you all night. I just think that it is so important that we talk about, just all of the things that matter, and that A plus B equals C, and that we're not being sold this bill of goods, and we're not picking up what Hank is putting down. Okay. Judge Cannoni might be, but we know better. And that's my opinion.
Kim, I offered something like this to Brian LTL the other day. I said, like, if you ever need me to just, or somebody to pop in and just say, you guys aren't losing your minds. This is absolutely ridiculous. Yes. It shouldn't happen this way. Or even to record a little snippet and send it to you, I'd be happy to do that. Although Melanie Little, at an absolute minimum, is such a great resource for all of you, because she breaks things down in a way that's very understandable as well. But anything you ever need, you're not losing your mind. The prosecution is trying to gaslight you all.
Agreed. And look at what Ruby just says. We are here to listen to Nan.
Well,
we have all joined us today to listen to Nan.
Hey,
I wanted to add
Ruby,
this.
I wish my kids would listen to me, but if you would like to listen to me, I'll take it.
Me too. I wish, and especially now I have fresh teenage girls who are sassy and fight with each other and like, love each other.
I would ask that it be effective with the court signature with regard to previous reports that have been filed and anything that's been gathered. And
oh, I'm sorry. This is David Yannetti being an absolute king on February 2nd, 2022, where he is at Stoughton District Court representing his client, Karen Read, and he is requesting his preservation order. And any troll would like to tell you that didn't apply to the Sally Port. Well, when you seize a suspect who is not a defendant yet, but you seize her vehicle on January 29th, 2022, and you take it via flatbed to Canton Police Department when you had many other barrack to take it to, but on the discretion of Trooper Michael Proctor, you get your ass back to the Canton Police Department, Sally Port. And where is that video from 5:35 on? I don't know. I want to know. And I know that it's so interesting that everyone says that, oh, Yannetti said that it was a terrible accident. Does this sound like a man who's saying this is a terrible accident? I'll let you tell me after this, Nan.
Yes, on the motion, I have it, Mr. Lally, motion for preservation of evidence. Have you had a chance to review it?
I have this one.
Do you have any objection to it?
I do not know.
All right, thank you. I'll allow that.
Yannetti, please.
I would ask that it be effective with the court signature with regard to previous reports that have been filed and anything that's been gathered, and certainly going forward. There should be no destruction of notes going forward in this investigation.
Well, it's
Oh, Mr. Yannetti. Mr. Yannetti, what? Okay. And what does our judge say?
speaks for itself.
Yes.
It's a preservation of evidence. I just signed it. It's 10:22 a.m. on February 2nd. That's what it
10:22 a.m. on February 2nd, 2022, a preservation of evidence order was signed. And that's my story, Nan. I'm sticking to it. What do you think?
I think that Yannetti is a boss. He did the right thing, which was to seek a preservation order immediately, whether it was in Stoughton or Dedham, whatever county it needed to be in. This is all transferable. It's all part of the case file. And he did what he needed to do. And it was broad enough and specific enough, and I won't bore you with the nuances, to cover the preservation of these tapes and or the system in which the tapes were generated and procured and stored, and any other evidence. So there are so many different Brady type things, Brady type of evidence that haven't been provided or have been provided late. One example is like the production of the inverted video during trial. Okay. Had she been convicted on the first trial, the production of that during trial production of that inverted video could have been grounds alone to either reverse her conviction or to overturn it and get her a new trial. So these Brady violations are all they're all covered by Yannetti's magical preservation order that he sought. It sounds like Brennan and Canoni didn't know anything about it. It also led me to think Lally isn't talking to Brennan. I am so interested in the tea on that. Like, I am really wondering now if Lally is so either embarrassed, frustrated, annoyed, wants to be doing other things, wants to make grilled cheese sandwiches, whatever it is. I think he's so checked out that he is not in any way helping Brennan, saying, he did apply for one in Stoughton. So I will tell you, these are really, really serious Brady allegations that are coming in that motion to dismiss, which I am predicting Judge Canoni is going to dismiss, but she will ultimately be victorious if she's convicted, and she has to appeal thereafter. That's a mouthful. I gotta work on my wordiness, Kim. I'm
No, that wasn't, I was thinking, like, now I didn't have a feeling in the first trial, although I didn't feel as though the Commonwealth met their elements, with the motion to dismiss, I feel like we have more now. I feel like we have so much more. And I feel like if this is a robust motion, as I believe it will be, and I believe it will take
full-throated, Kim.
full
Full-throated. Yeah, sorry. His words,
Are
not
you
mine.
shitting me? Mr.
Full-throated.
Jackson, you said full-throated?
Twice.
That's what she said. Okay, don't get flustered. Jeez, am I okay? Hello. Well, okay, if they end up having that, I feel like this time, like, it makes, I don't know. I just think that she would really have to, Judge Canoni, meaning her, sorry. Like, I really think she would have to think about this and really see. And for whatever reason, like, I have like almost a feeling that, wouldn't that be something if on March 4th, when they went to do oral argument for this, like, because it's due by the 21st, then the Commonwealth needs to reply by the 28th. The 4th is our oral argument. Let's go. Could you imagine if it got dismissed?
Catch these hands, right? No, seriously though, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'll come up for March 4th and stand outside, but it's probably still fucking cold up there then. But seriously, it would make the most sense for Judge Canoni to grant, I didn't see the motion yet, for her to grant that motion.
Yeah.
It would. I mean, let's make an assumption that it is the absolute Shakespearean work of art that anyone's ever read, that we're all going to praise in a few weeks. Okay. But if it's great and has the citing case law and is poorly opposed, which, just for your audience to understand, as much as she's holding Alan and his team to the wire in submitting their motion to dismiss, which I think is BS, he should have more time. I mean, stuff's still being produced by the prosecution now, even after the deadline that they were supposed to produce it. But she's holding Alan to the wire in terms of that deadline. But Hank does not have a big turnaround time either. So I'm gonna enjoy that. He can suck it for all I care about at the end of this month and doing his opposition.
Yes.
But if she grants the motion, the case goes away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the prosecution could appeal it, I believe. I'd have to think more about that when I'm not so tired, and I don't think they would.
Right.
But the case would go away. People like Proctor and other problematic law enforcement officers wouldn't have to testify. People like Higgy and all that might come out with his perjurious conduct wouldn't come out to light. The people like the McAlberts aren't going to be re-examined on what they did or did not do or should have done that night. The case kind of dissipates. It'll never be over in terms of, there's still going to be people who hate free Karen readers. There's still going to be people who hate her. Her life is ruined, and I know she's going to rise above when she is victorious. It's going to be civil rights action, book, what have you, victim advocacy, defense advocacy, innocence projects, etc. for her. So keep smiling big and keep the faith, Karen. I really mean that if you're listening. But the easiest way out. Think of it like an escape room. We're all in an escape room right now.
Yeah.
And if I was Canoni, I'd be like, how the hell do I get out of this fucking escape room?
Yes.
Because nobody gets in real trouble if she just says, Mr. Jackson, I find this to be a compelling argument and I'm going to grant. That's my Massachusetts, by the way. No offense, people. I'm trying.
No. I'm
Argument.
going to need you to rewind that. And that is Judge Beverly Canoni. You just came. Oh, I'm sorry. Will the real Judge Bev please stand up? That was incredible.
Well, by the way, I have to tell you, because your audience is a lot of ladies, not all ladies, but two comments.
Three boys that make up my delegation. And I love those 3 boys, but I got 99 ladies. Yes.
Okay. So you ladies will and gentlemen will appreciate this. And I don't mean to keep you, Kim, but I was accused after going on the Young Jerks of having Judge Canoni's hairstyle. And no offense to her hairstyle, but the trolls were making parallels and it was annoying me. 2, people were saying, oh my God, her profile pictures on media are different because she doesn't have bangs and her hair is longer. And wouldn't you know, ladies, I literally cut like 8 inches off my hair and bangs a day before I kind of became a little more vocal on these platforms. So I'm like, God, now I don't look like myself. But anyway,
you look like yourself. You're gorgeous. I love
you.
I love a bang. Okay, you're banging, Nan. Okay, you're the
you.
only Nan. And
wait, no one needs to say like only Nan is banging on social media. We don't need to.
Banging.
Thank you. I am banging. But anyway, I digress. I want you all to know that we could see an easy resolution here if Canoni would just dismiss the motion, assuming it's well articulated, because people like me and other lawyers who are speaking up,
Yes.
we're seeing the ingredients for it. And if anyone, and I'm sure I put it out on social media the other day, if anyone wants to see how it should have happened, watch the end of the Alec Baldwin trial.
Yes.
And believe it or not, Lawyer has a wonderful, it's 2 hours, but a wonderful stream on the end of that trial, the recap of it. And I am not offering any opinion on Alec Baldwin's conduct, on gun control, on safety on movie sets, or on Helena Hutchinson and her family, because this woman didn't get justice because there was a dismissal. But how it should have happened is as it happened with Judge Summers in that trial in New Mexico. So, Judge Canoni, you've got an out here. You got a motion to dismiss, piecemeal or not, coming down the pike, and
down that pike, babe. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. That's incredible. That's such a good take. And I also want to say that I was a little bit nervous. I kind of came in halfway through on a case. It was the Commonwealth versus Penny McGee. And I feel as though, it really enraged me. I know if you probably don't, well, it was a case that the medical examiner was listening to basically Brookline Police Department that had said it was a domestic, which there was allegations back and forth. But this woman, Penny McGee, a mother of 3, ex-wife of Andrew Savitz, like that, and she had nursed him back to health. Like, I mean, they had a relationship for like 20 years. And yeah, they had an argument. Did it get a little slappy? Did somebody get pushed? Whatever. But at the end of the day, this man had 90% occluded arteries, right? This man had diabetes, type 2 diabetes. This man also had a stroke a couple of months prior. And you're saying that a cardiovascular event, right? Arterial sclerosis that had occurred, that it was because it was a result of an altercation. And to me, I was outraged. I was unwell over it. I was so pissed. And Judge Canoni came through, not guilty, both charges from a bench trial. And that was, I believe, the right call. And I was quite shocked because I didn't know how it was going to go. I said, oh shit, if anyone, may think that there was that there was reason here, it might have been her, but I really think that she got that right.
Yeah, I mean, bench trials are sometimes the most effective modality for lawyers. I have to say, I only loosely followed it, and it was through your streams, some of the commentary, and from Melanie Little.
Yes.
But I didn't dig deep into it just because of my own trial schedules. But what I will say is, thank God, okay? Because if a law like that, the enforcement or application of a law through that possible conviction, if that went down up in Massachusetts, God save you guys. Come on down,
Yeah.
New Jersey and New York, nice and warm, because you can't, that. And I heard the analogy of the, if you say boo, if Peter,
Yes.
I heard you, Peter
Peter
Pan.
Pan.
Fucking Peter Pan, like seriously, boo. And the guy drops dead. He suddenly committed a felony and he should be sent to jail. So, and all of the medical underlying comorbidities
Yes.
of that particular, we call them a decedent, but
Yeah.
of that victim, it's unbelievable. So she did do the right thing. And she, from what I understand, did it swiftly.
Yes.
Which was like right after the closing arguments.
From the bench, babe. Didn't need a minute to go back in her chambers. Who is this? New Bev, who dis? Okay.
Maybe she
cut her
had a
hair.
makeover like I did.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she did. I wanted to tell her last Friday, because she was wearing a coral one time, and I was not a fan of the coral. I said, coral is not your red, my love. And she's got a little bit shorter of a bob. And I think Teresa, I made up, Teresa does her hair in Newton. And, she seemed, I know that she wants to be knee deep in clams down the Cape, but she's back and she's ruling quicker than ever. I like it. Make the calls, call the balls and strikes, do justice. And that's all, Bev. That's all, Judge Canoni, pardon me, don't be rude. But, I like it. The new way that she is going and quickly returning her rulings is and doing well, in my opinion. So let's keep this momentum up, guys, and just like all positivity, right? Like we're on a track of positive trajectory, right? And nothing is impossible. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to put it out there into the world that like I am going to hope for a complete dismissal after the March 4th arguments. I'm going for it. Let's dismiss it. Let's do it. I can hope it. I can put it out there. I'm not going to shit on it all the time and say like, oh, she'll never do that. No, let's see.
Some of your audience have said she won't. And I hear you, and I actually think she won't. But it is, in my opinion, something I would hope for, because I see it as the path of least resistance.
Yes.
For all. People then can maintain their positions from a PR background. You know what I mean? It's like the Baldoni Lively. They both have, we could talk about that too. That's a whole other show. But like they both could walk away, whomever it is, the state and the Read sides, or the Baldonis and the Lively sides, with the ability to say, I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Like the judge looks at it and seems to think there were Brady violations. And even if she makes these findings and dismisses the case, those are her findings. I'm Brennan. It wasn't my case. It must have been Lally. That's why I think Lally is still around, and Lar was actually right.
Yeah.
So this is the stupid stuff that interests me, these intricacies. It's like playing chess. So I'm going to keep the faith that she dismisses it.
Me too. I'm just going to listen. I'm just trying to listen. I'm doing different things in 2025. I have too much anxiety. So I said, like, listen, just, keep trying to be as positive as possible. And also, I think that there's enough there. Like, and I will die on that hill, that there is enough and that this makes sense. And that's her best chess move. And she's still got a couple more years, babe, just like you're saying. So for Morrissey not to look like he's going to be opposed, okay, coming up as well for the first time since 80 what, I don't freaking know. And like, there's just a lot of other shit happening here. They wanted to get back in to try this quickly. There was a rush for a lot of things. And now that you're putting together all these new experts, you've got all finding new video evidence all the way to October. I am going to tell you this. When there's smoke, there's fire. And I think that the fire has been found and that our little firefighter is going to be Alan Jackson and David Yannetti and Eliza Little. So, may the force be with you.
And
yes.
Alessi.
Oh, and Alessi and Marty Weinberg, Ducktail. Woohoo. So
you're too young. Are you going to be too young for DuckTales? But I guess not. I guess
no.
not.
Are you kidding? Listen,
I loved them.
Damn, babe. I wanted to do this just because every time I talk about this, the trio behind me, I think of this.
Suspicious, don't be suspicious.
John Ralphio?
John Ralphio. Oh, I had to give you one of those, Nan. So I'm just going to do a couple of our finish up our super chatting. We'll talk for a couple more minutes, and then I've already kept you at 1 hour and 46 minutes. We are wild women. It is a school night and we've got children. So thank you. This has been like incredible for me. And I will be honored to have you back, Nan.
We can talk anytime about any aspect of this case, including the medical examiner's findings.
I wanted to. Yes.
And the drama that circled around Dr. Scorty Bellows' findings and concessions at trial. So, anytime you're interested, you just reach out and take your shot, girl. Take your shot.
Shooting my shot with you, Nan, anytime. Yes. So Lola says every time, Lola the good dog, let's read that correctly. Every time Hank sounds outraged, all I hear is, well, I never, in the voice of Dixie Carter from Designing Women. Yes, I love that.
Very appropriate.
And Jerry Garcia, I don't know that's correct, but Grace says, why does the first trial have to be kept from the jury? And if a witness mentions it, would it become fair game?
Why does a first trial have to? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know
I'm sorry.
I was answering that or not. I'm new to this. So the first trial, well, it really depends. Generally, you don't reference on a retrial that there was a prior mistrial. Generally, that's just kind of par for the course. That's the standard. We try to do it that way. But there might be a Massachusetts law that says specifically prohibits it. But there are various things that can't be mentioned to this jury, apparently by evidentiary rulings in terms of like the FBI and who hired ARCA and all that. But you will see, Jerry, that during this trial 2.0, the defense, the defense will be asking these witnesses questions about their prior proceedings. Did you not testify on this date? And if they either remember it or they don't remember it. If they don't remember what they said previously, the rules of evidence allow at that point that the lawyers can refresh their recollection, which is an interesting point, Kim, and I want you to be aware of it.
Yeah.
All those times during 1.0 when Jen McCabe, Jen McCabe, she kept saying, can you show me? Did I, Alan's like, did you testify in a prior proceeding? Can you show me? I need to see it.
Mm-hmm.
That should never have happened. The way law, the way law works, it's the way law works with Nan Gallagher. The way trials are supposed to work is you only refresh the witness's recollection if they can't remember. So he's supposed to ask her, did you testify in a prior proceeding that you killed John O'Keefe? And she's supposed to say, I don't remember. Okay, well, let me show you. Here you go. Did you read this? I'm going to ask you questions about it. She took way too much free reign with how she allowed her cross-examination to go. And that is like the one little critique I would offer to Karen's team. Don't give Jen McCabe that carte blanche to just run her cross-examination. This is a woman who's staring herself in the mirror every single day, practicing her lies, my opinion. So she's got to be feet to the fire with her.
Yep.
And the answer should be when she says, well, can I see what you're looking at? Now suddenly she's from Brooklyn. I got to work on my impersonations.
No, it's so good.
When she says, can I see what you're looking at? And Alan, who's like a nice guy, he's like a nice asshole. Like, I love it.
Yes,
like,
I love it.
Sure. Yes, you can see it. And he comes over, and this time it's going to be with a beard. And I am here for it.
Oh,
but
I'm Beard 2.0. Yes, babe. Yes.
He's going to come over and hand her a transcript. And Alan Jackson, if you're listening, don't you do that. Don't you do that unless she doesn't remember. Okay. Because all she's doing is looking at, faking, looking at what you're putting under her nose and thinking, how am I going to lie? How am I going to lie? How am I going to spin this? What did my lawyer tell me to say? My opinions, she only gets her prior testimony if she testifies, can't remember. And one last step, and I'm so sorry to drag on, Kim, but I could talk about it all day long. If she keeps saying, I don't remember, just as a means to try to see, so he does put it under her nose so she could see this is what he's going to try to get me on.
Yeah.
That's going to look bad too. There was a wonderful post on YouTube yesterday. I don't remember the name of the creator. I had never heard of her. I think she might. I don't know. But she posted on the absolute abysmal testimony of Tristan Morris and how he forgot everything. I mean, the guy didn't even know. Like, I'm surprised he knew his name. He didn't even remember how he puts his pants on in the morning. For anyone who's interested, go see it.
He can dance like a man you've never seen before. Okay.
Okay.
He can hump the ground and like a actual Magic Mike dancer. And I'm just gonna tell you, it's assault. It's assault. Okay. But it's also wildly inappropriate. And that is something he does remember.
Yeah, he remembers everything. But I guess what I'm getting at to you guys is when witnesses are lying, it looks really bad when they start saying, I don't remember, just so they can get the piece of paper under their nose. So everyone needs to, quote, retool how Jen McCabe and Brian Higgins need to be questioned.
And also don't be a tool, right? Like, hey, don't be a tool in 2025.
Now that's a t-shirt.
Sorry,
folks. Anyway, I interrupted your chats. I know I'm keeping you. And
no, my gosh. Listen, I would stay here with you all night if I didn't have, life. We'll plan this better. And then Jen Lee 143 wrote back, Nan, to you and said, no, Nan, you are amazing. I just had to wait for Nurse Kim because she would call you out if need be. I hope. Nope. I learned a lot about you. Keep giving because we love our creators. You're an angel.
Jen Lee.
And then Amy's Positive Pathways says, similar, Nurse Kim, Merrimack Valley girl, boop, boop. Dunks T. Oh my God. Are we cousins? Full-time BH care manager, per diem therapist. Oh my God, babe. Relatable. You are. Also love Nan. Oh, Amy, Positive Pathways. We probably work together. And have known each other for 15 years. Meatball Morrissey's Sketty Stain. Nan is my favorite. Well, Meatball, that's aggressive on my channel, telling Nan how she's your favorite. Nurse Kim is amazing. She's all right. And constantly muting herself. Yes, that is me. And also babes, I don't want to jinx myself in the final moments here, but I didn't do it tonight, did I?
No, I
Maybe.
mean, I'm glitching, but that's me, and you're perfect.
No, get out. No. But I feel like it's not a show without a solid 5 to 10 minute mute. I told you last time, Meatball Morrissey Sketty Stains, and to all my lovies, when I'm muted, that's time for you to reflect on your life of why you're listening to me. Okay,
Meditate.
that's for us to meditate, for us to become one with whatever entities you believe in. Just take that time and say, "Wow, she's very jarring." And we like her sometimes.
I'm interested, just as an aside, Meatball Morrissey's Sketty Stain. At some point, you need to tell me if you're a man or a woman. I love your
Ooh.
handle. I'm intrigued. I want to know more about the Sketty Stain, but I love it. So I say to myself, I wonder if that's a man or a woman.
There's
Interesting.
no nonsense going on here. Okay.
Exactly.
Gray
Here we
Space has been a consensual member at Nurse Kim's house for 1 month. Been watching you since your first TikTok live. Gray Space, stop that right now. Okay.
You're on TikTok? I gotta
I'm
find
on
you.
the TikTok. Oh, I'm on the TikTok. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Gray Space, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, babe. And then we have the Traveler says, what about the ridiculous time frame given to the defense for filing? What do you think about that, Nan? For the motion to dismiss?
I think it's completely contracted, unrealistic.
Yeah.
And she has in her mind an April 1st trial date, and come hell or high water. I think it's unrealistic, especially when new evidence keeps apparating and reapparating. So it's very hard. It's very hard for lawyers to draft arguments piecemeal. Not only piecemeal, like she was saying to him, well, can't you can argue it piecemeal and send me different briefs and stuff. No, the arguments have to dovetail together. So you don't want to waive a certain argument because some other argument that isn't done yet isn't done yet. It's ridiculous. And also the SJC timeline, they're supposed to come in with their decision by sometime in March. I think it's like the 100 and something day. It's ridiculous. She needs to extend it. And I think she's holding their feet to the fire to see what the law get done and then ultimately punt it in the end.
Yeah, agreed. And Armor of Alessi. Oh, I love that. Nan and Kim, your kids do listen and are proud. It's their job as teens to look disinterested, of course. Thank you, Amor of Elise. Armor. Oh my God. Like, Kim, read a handle right. Jeez, my God.
It says Amor. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that's adorbs. And I make up names all the time. Amor of Alessi says, given they piled up so much dismissible crap, how does it help them to keep trying, KR? Am I naive, or is face saving so desirable? I think we covered that, Nan. You know what I mean? With like what the appropriate thing would be to do, what the appropriate thing for careers would be, how to weasel in or weasel out of this, how that could be best navigated would be a dismissal. But yeah, at face saving, yes, it matters to Norfolk County. It matters in Massachusetts. It matters in a lot of states. But specifically the bullshit that has gone on in the Commonwealth for many decades is coming to the surface, in my opinion.
And as I mentioned to someone else yesterday, the Hank Brennan and I dare say Lally, they're pot committed at this point. While they have the duty to dismiss, they can dismiss a case at any time and drop charges, is what I mean by dismiss. They could drop these charges at any time. They could also have agreed, after the confusion came out from some of the jurors as to where they found their verdicts or not, they could have made a calculated decision then to dismiss some of the charges. but they're pot committed at this point and face saving. It's really disgusting and makes me acutely aware why lawyers get a bad name. And I'm
Yeah.
really personally, professionally offended by it.
Yes. Oh my God. I love, see, candor. There it is. Okay. Only Nan. And that's why we show up. Leah Baker, hi, Lovey, says anxiety trial 2.0 and won't want to think the defense should bring multiple cell phone experts, Green and Moore. Jury will see that Guarino, Hyde, and Whiffen, and jury will see 3-1. And the first jury didn't get what was being put down.
I agree.
I'm in for funding another expert. Yes.
Oh, Leah Baker coming in hot.
That's incredible.
I do agree that the balance of the optics of the balance of experts, it looks a little. I hope that the defense does have someone else, not required, not necessary, but optics wise and also substantively, it does help. And also, experts are expensive. And I mean, I understand you're kind of saying, hey, I'm all in to try to raise funds, which is great. Sometimes the defense team has to kind of say, where can we cut costs on this?
Right.
You know,
right.
But I think
and especially because they're bleeding her, in my opinion. Like, that's what I've just said. Like, and I know that that's not, and Mr. Betterow kind of didn't slap my hand, but he wouldn't like co-sign on that because I was like, they're just trying to get her money. And she doesn't have the unlimited resources. And this was way in the beginning, like before, like even the first job of Dr. Russell. But like now you can't deny it. Like, it's every single expert. And I mean, for the love of God, she only had 6 witnesses. She only had, 6 witnesses for including her experts that testified. Like, come on here, like, get a life. I am done. You had 69 for the Commonwealth, like, and you guys are going to try to just have Daubert hearings for everything. That's not how that works. And that you're just trying to do this strategically. And I think everything is as calculated as the day is long with Hang Brennan, in my opinion.
It's a war. It is a war of attrition. They are trying, is my opinion. They're trying to bleed her dry. And by the way, if I may hijack your substantive content for one moment, as I'm hitting the point where my littles have to go to bed. But
yes,
I want to send a message to Karen or Kelly Read here.
Yes.
And I hope at some point this gets under their nose. On my most recent birthday, back in December, my husband bought me a bracelet, and I wear it all the time now. And it's a little beautiful silver bracelet, just ties in the back with black cords. And it's Morse code. And it has a beautiful, just Morse code message on it. And I love it. I wear it all the time. And I really hope I can get something like this for Karen to wear at some point in her personal life, or Kelly, or anybody. And you know what the message is?
What is it?
Fuck off. In Morse code. So, wow, by the way, when you laughed, you literally disappeared into Adam Lally's cheese sandwich.
I am I became Adam Lally's cheese sandwich for a split second. Are you shitting me? That is phenomenal. I need to know the link so that I need me, Jen Altman, Karen, and Karen Kelly, anyone else, fuck off in Morse code. That is
but it's
potentially life-changing.
I know it doesn't show up very nicely, but it's a beautiful silver. It doesn't tarnish, and it has little pardon my Jersey nails, but it has little like bumps on it, and it ties in the back. Hasn't come off me since December. Just a little black cord that kind of fastens with a bead.
I'm upset.
It says fuck off. So if someone could just La, look at La right there. I love it.
That's our laugh. Fucking only, Nan. I can't. Listen to me. with that being said, you are an angel. Okay. I know you got to put the littles to bed.
I'm so
I
sorry.
appreciate you. I no, are you kidding me? Thank you. You just gave me over 2 hours of your precious time, and it has been a very meaningful time for me. I'm going to be in contact. We'll do girly things. We'll talk on the side. And I would love to get you on the books, Nan, for I really want to do a medical. I really want to do Dr. Scorty Bello and do
Renee Stonebridge.
review Renee Stonebridge too with you, because I know that it could be impactful.
Kim,
And you're everything.
Thank you. I'm in. Somebody, can you put up the last can you put up Lar's comment? Are
I
you
sure
able to
can.
do that? Can someone grab a screenshot of that and send that to me? I don't know, message me on X or something. I want to send that to my husband. He thinks this nickname is like the funniest thing in the world, and I curse like a sailor in my personal life. So that would be like, I would love to get him that. Thank you so much. But anyway,
we're gonna get him fucking only Nan in Morse code, okay? And put that on a damn bracelet for him, okay? And then everything is gonna be just the best that it could. But again, I appreciate you, Nan. I'm so sorry, Levies. I'll read the last couple of super chats, and I apologize if I didn't get to yours with Nan, but I'll get an answer for you. And thank you for being you. Thank you for giving me your time, and thank you for being a real one, Nan. And you are the fucking only Nan, okay?
I am. I don't know how to leave your show, so you just drop me out.
I'm going to help. I'm not kicking you out. I'm just going to gently say good night. Good night. Good night, Nan. And I am going to, is she going to do it right? Yep, there we go. Kick it. Okay, gently kicked. Gently, it was a whoop. Okay, babes. Now, here we are. I love you. Are we obsessed? Are we obsessed? I am. I think she is an angel. I think she is literally so funny. She is so smart. And she says cursey words. What? All right. Babes, if you want, in the last couple of minutes, let's try to get Karen to that $12,000. I know we can. I know we will. I'm going to donate as soon as I get off of our stream. DW says Karen's civil suits will be north of $10 million at this point, I think. Thanks for the content. Thank you, DW, I think. Have a great night. And Kelly Gigabyte Me Bev, just kidding. If Chloe bit, you must have quit. Says, I will say Bev surprisingly did the right thing with Penny McGee, at least. Maybe there's a small fighting chance. Only Nan. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kelly. You would like the second one. What do you think the SJC will do? I think that she's just waiting on them, and that there isn't a precedent. So she said that we're still waiting, but we have a March deadline. I'll ask the only Nan. And I love this collab and your faces. We love you, Kelly, and can't wait for Margs. It's coming. I'd be sick if she came up in March. And then we have Little Mighty says, my question is why the CW would bring such ridiculous charges now with the world watching. Makes no sense. Hey, babe, you're fucking right. Okay. You're right. And we've all been asking that very same question. And is it to okay, we're too deep. We are too deep. Look at Adam Lally. Okay. If that isn't a man who has regretted every day of the last at least 365. And look at the face of a man who clutches between 8 and 13 number twos. Just clutching them for dear life. There's a lot of questions here. Miss McLaughlin prays. She prays. I don't know. Okay. And Erica Mad said, thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. And retired prison captain says, great show tonight. 2 stunning beauties. Oh, stop it. What are we doing? With brains, excellent duo. Thank you so much, retired prison captain. And Charlie Lynn says, the judge needs to reconsider not allowing the, quote, witness intimidation crud. The grand jury returned no bill. KR has nothing to do with that. Hey, Charlie Lynn, can I get an amen, hallelujah? I'd like to double down on that. And from your lips to God's ears, I'm done. I am really all set with everybody being able to talk about Aiden Carney and Turtle Boy and talk shit about a public rolling rally that occurred and going to public outings. And yeah, it could have been annoying. I don't like it. I don't think it's the greatest thing, but you had the ability to open the door for that and talk about that while the defense was unable to say who ARCA was hired by. I'm sorry. And also, Turtle Boy hasn't been convicted of anything. So if there's an open investigation, like the open investigation into the investigation of Officer John O'Keefe's death by the FBI, we should be able to say the feds, or you're not saying TB. That's my switcheroo, in my opinion. And Anna Maria Deandra says, love you, Nan, and thanks for being you. Wonderfuling if you're in, wonderful. And if you are in the area, also following Adelson case. Yes, she is. And she should absolutely maybe come on and we could do an Adelson discussion. Meatball Morrissey Sketty Stain. Oh, it's happening, Nan. If you can watch this after on replay or at the end. 39-year-old female, ginger, 6 feet tall. I wrote out on my profile about my handle, I'm the elusive person who left the voicemail for Phelps. Oh my gosh. Meatball Morrissey Sketty Stain. I love a 39-year-old. Look at us twinning, minus the 6 foot of ginger pot. And Lola the good dog said, didn't see the doggy dental records listed from defense. Huh. I'll have to look that up, Lola the good dog. You're an angel. I didn't see that either. And we were supposed to, you're right. And Mama She 13 says, love you two blonde queens. Thank you for doing what y'all do. Mama She 13, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Lovey. You're so kind. And Kelly Reed, I am here. Great show. Love the bracelet. On your mark, get set, fuck off, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And until we meet again, lovies, I love all of your faces. Do me one solid if you're feeling froggy. If you have it in you and you are as pissed off as we are about Karen's motion for the making her whole and not wasting her time, right? Wouldn't have been a big deal had the Commonwealth just said, hey, we don't have it. We don't have it. So as to not waste her time, not to waste her team's time and waste thousands of dollars. But they didn't do that. That was deceitful. Just because you said, oh, I don't know what was there, or I don't know, if it's going to be a lot that's there, that still doesn't mean that the defendant has to eat all of that cost. And I know that there are going to need to be additional experts rather, that will have to somebody's going to have to go stand in the room while they record it and Hank fiddles his fucking pencils. So hopefully we can at least be at square zero and get to that 12K tonight. You guys are the best in all of the land. I love everything about you. I love your faces, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.